In 1943, it was one of our strategic aims to draw as many German forces as possible away from the Russian front and French coastal areas and to contain them on the Italian peninsula while liberating as much of Italy as might be possible with the means at our disposal. As the bulk of our supplies was directed to England for the forthcoming invasion, operations in Italy had to be conducted on an extremely limited scale. Thus it came about that during the winter months, the number of Allied divisions in Italy was greatly reduced. Yet so determined was their effort that they succeeded in holding in Italy a very large number of German divisions during the pre-invasion period. San Pietro in the 5th Army sector was the key to the Liri Valley. We knew it, and the enemy knew it. We had to take it, even though the immediate cost would be high. We took it, and the cost in relation to the later advance was not excessive. By its very nature, this success worked bitter hardships upon each individual soldier, calling for the full measure of his courage and devotion. The response of our 5th Army troops provides an inspiring page in our military history. To these individuals, living and dead, and to those who now continue in their tradition, this picture is dedicated.
Liri Valley lies in the Italian Midland, some 60 miles northwest of Naples to some 40 miles southeast of Rome. A wide, flat corridor enclosed between 4 walls of mountains. In winter, the highest peaks of the Liri Range ascend into the snows, but the valley floor with its olive groves and ancient vines, its crops of wheat and corn, is green the year around. That is, in normal times. Last year was a bad year for grapes and olives, and the fall planting was late. Many fields lay fallow. There are 2 ways from the south into the valley. One, a narrow pass. The other, a high, scenic road over the mountains. They converge before the site of the ancient village of San Pietro, which for 700 years has stood at the threshold of Liri Valley, welcoming the traveler. The stones of its walls were quarried out of the parent hill from whose slopes it rises. Population 1,412 at the last census. A farming community. Patron saint, Peter. Point of interest, St. Peter's, 1438. Note, interesting treatment of chancel. From the end of October 1943 until the middle of December, San Pietro and the surrounding ground was the scene of some of the bitterest fighting on our 5th Army front. The Italian campaign had entered its second phase and pushed forward again after a static period brought on by heavy seasonal rains. Our battle lines were haphazard as the terrain itself, with its flood-swollen rivers that twisted back and forth across our line of march so that each river seemed like 5. And where there was no river to cross, a mountain blocked our going, each peak ahead being a few meters higher than the last we had won, so that each new peak had to be fought for, the hard, uphill way, with the enemy looking down our throats. They had had time to fortify and camouflage their positions. No amount of artillery fire or aerial bombardment could force them to withdraw. That was for the infantry to do, employing those weapons that confine and destroy life in narrow trenches, caves, and fighting holes. It was up to the man with the rifle, the man under fire from all weapons, the man whose way all our weapons, land, air, and sea, serve only to prepare. It was up to the foot soldier to attack a hidden enemy over ground that was sown with mines, the anti-personnel S-mines that fly up at a footfall to explode beneath the groin. Nowhere along the entire front were enemy preparations more elaborate than in the San Pietro area. For San Pietro stands at the threshold of Liri Valley, and through Liri Valley, wide and level, runs the most highly prized length of road south of Rome. By early December, we had taken and were holding high ground to the northeast, east, and south of San Pietro, the Camino Maggiore hill mass being last to fall. An Italian brigade under Allied command had made a vain attempt to capture Mount Lungo, possession of which would have acted greatly to our benefit in the impending action. The Italians were all but annihilated. In view of their excessive losses, further operations against Mount Lungo's strategic heights were abandoned. And it was decided to make a direct frontal assault on enemy positions in and around San Pietro. Elements of the 36th Texas Infantry Division were rotated from position to position, overlooking the valley, so the troops might study the terrain ahead from various viewpoints. Patrol activity was continuous. Day and night, units went out to reconnoiter the ground, draw fire, take prisoners, thus adding to the sum of our information about the enemy. High points, Mount Lungo's 351 and Mount Sammucro's 1205 and 950 were all manned in force. The town itself was strongly garrisoned with numerous mortar, machine gun, and heavy weapon emplacements. 4 enemy battalions were dug into a line of connecting trenches and mutually supporting pillboxes in depth that extended from the base of Mount Lungo, northeast across the valley floor to the base of Mount Sammucro. Another battalion was organized to defend the high ground northwest of San Pietro. Areas before these positions were heavily mined and held a confusion of barbed wire and booby traps. On the afternoon before, D-Day and H-Hour were communicated to battalion commanders. December 8th, at 0620 hours, the 1st Battalion of the 143rd Infantry Regiment to attack the summit of 1205, having moved up the mountain under cover of darkness, and upon achieving its objective to attack along the ridge to a point northwest of San Pietro. The 3rd Ranger Battalion likewise to attack 950, another feature of the Mount Sammucro hill mass. The 2nd Battalion of the 143rd to attack over the terraced olive orchards northeast of San Pietro. The 3rd Battalion acting in support to follow the 2nd at 400 yards. Of the original force to establish the beachhead at Salerno, the 143rd had since spent all but a fortnight in action under extremely bitter weather conditions. At Salerno, at the Volturno crossing, it had taken mortal punishment. The task ahead promised no less bloodshed, yet it was undertaken in good spirits and high confidence. The 1st Battalion began the long, rugged climb up Mount Sammucro. As night fell, our artillery opened up, and throughout the night hours, intense fire was laid down on the enemy's main line of resistance. It had rained most of the night, and it was raining at each hour when the 2nd and 3rd Battalions crossed the line of departure. Some 200 yards forward, they encountered mines and automatic fire from pillboxes. Mortar and artillery were deadly accurate by reason of excellent enemy observation from Mount Lunga, overlooking our advance, which continued another 200 to 400 yards. Many men gave their lives in attempts to reach pillboxes and throw hand grenades through the narrow gun openings. The 3rd Battalion was committed. The advance never got more than 600 yards past the line of departure. Our initial assault on San Pietro had been repulsed with heavy casualties. The attack on Hill 1205, however, was a brilliant success. Leading elements of the 1st Battalion had gained the summit of the objective before a strongly entrenched enemy knew that an assault was in progress. To the right of 1205, the 3rd Ranger Battalion had also captured its objective, but only after successive attacks and costly casualties. For on 950, the enemy was not taken unaware. Counterattacks were to be expected on both 1205 and 950. They were not long developing. First was launched during the early daylight hours, and even as it was beaten off, another took form. Day and night they followed in unremitting violence. The toll of enemy dead mounted with each new attempt. But German prisoners captured on 1205 and 950 said they had been ordered to retake those positions at all cost. In addition to defending Hill 1205, the 1st Battalion, obedient to the field order, undertook the reduction of enemy defenses which were organized along the ridge running west. On the 12th of December, the 1st Battalion was reinforced by the 504th Parachute Battalion, which took over and maintained the defenses of 1205 and 950. thereby enabling the 1st Battalion to throw its entire remaining strength into the assault along the ridge. But the 1st strength had dwindled and shrunk in the 5 days past, and there was now a question as to whether its existing numbers were sufficient to prevail. Reports during the night of the 14th of December stated that the enemy was offering bitter resistance and that the issue was in grave doubt. Meanwhile, on the olive terraces below, the 2nd and 3rd Battalions had twice again attempted to reach their objective. Both times they had come up against a wall of automatic weapon, mortar, and artillery fire. Volunteer patrols made desperate attempts to reach enemy positions and reduce strong points. Not a single member of any such patrol ever came back alive. Our attacking forces were furnished excellent aerial cover by Allied fighter patrols. But now and then, enemy planes were able to slip through and to bomb and strafe our positions, which to all purposes had remained unchanged since the first day. To break the deadlock, orders were given for a coordinated divisional attack. The 2nd and 3rd Battalions of the 143rd to proceed in the execution of the original orders. Acting in conjunction, Company A of the 753rd Tank Battalion to attack San Pietro from the east over the high road. 1 battalion of the 141st to attack over the flat valley floor. After nightfall on D-Day, the 142nd Infantry Regiment to attack Mount Lungo. The earlier decision not to attack those strategic heights having been reversed in view of the present critical situation. In preparation for the attack, all 5th Army artillery within range, including tanks and all tracks, was directed against San Pietro and the surrounding area. H hour, 1200 hours. D-Day, the 15th of December. The 141st Infantry advanced some 400 yards from its line of departure, to be borne down and held powerless under the weight of enemy fire. The 2nd and 3rd Battalions of the 143rd advanced some 100 yards beyond their former positions to a point almost directly before forward enemy defenses. And for the 3rd time, they were forced to take such cover as the quaking earth could offer. And the tanks. Orders were for them to enter the town and to locate and destroy the heavy weapons there, which were leveled against our attacking foot soldiers. The high road into San Pietro is a narrow mountain road, and from the beginning of its winding descent in the Liri Valley, it was under direct enemy observation. "16 tanks started down that road. 3 reached the outskirts of the town. 2 were destroyed and 1 was missing. 5 tanks were immobilized behind enemy lines, their crews having to abandon them. 5 tanks hit enemy mines within our lines and were thereupon destroyed by enemy gunfire. 4 tanks returned to the bivouac area. After dark, 2 companies, 1 from the 2nd Battalion and 1 from the 3rd, finally succeeded in penetrating enemy positions before San Pietro. But receiving both frontal and flanking fire, they were forced to retire. Company E having been reduced in strength to a handful of riflemen, and Company L faring little better. On the Mount Simoko Ridge, the 1st Battalion fought its way to within a few hundred yards of the objective. But it had paid for ground gained at the rate of a man a yard, and it did not have strength to carry the fight any further forward. On Mount Lungo, however, despite bitter resistance, battalions of the 142nd in successive waves kept pushing upwards until, in the early daylight hours of the 16th of December, its foot soldiers had gained the summit and were wiping up what remained of a stubborn enemy. And that height proved to be a key position in the enemy plan of defense, for even as Mount Lungo fell, the enemy throughout the San Pietro area made preparations to withdraw. Almost invariably, the enemy will counterattack to cover a withdrawal. The first violent thrust was delivered within a few hours. And thereafter, counterattacks came in waves, the roar of the last mingling with the rush and fury of the next to break. Many companies lost all their officers. Enlisted men came forward as inspirational leaders to rally their battered companies into resisting yet one more onslaught. Our own artillery was brought to fall within 100 yards of our front-line elements. After 5 hours, during which the earth never ceased to tremble, counterattacks ended, indicating that the withdrawal of the enemy's main body had commenced. In an effort to maintain contact with the enemy, our patrols immediately pushed ahead. Entering the town, they discovered that San Pietro was ours for the taking. The 2nd and 3rd battalions, less than a rifle company in strength, weary to death who were alive, stumbled forward past San Pietro to consolidate gains and re-establish contact with the enemy, now taking up new positions some 5 kilometers beyond. That is the broad shape of the Battle of San Pietro, which was but the first of many battles in the Erie Valley. It was a very costly battle. After the battle, the 143rd Infantry Regiment alone required 1,100 replacements. The lives lost were precious lives to their country, to their loved ones, and to the men themselves. For the living of the 143rd Infantry Regiment, more than 100 decorations for acts of valor above and beyond the call of duty. Many among these you see alive here have since joined the ranks of their brothers in arms who fell at San Pietro. For ahead lay San Vittore and the Rapido River and Cassino, and beyond Cassino more rivers and more mountains and more towns, more San Pietros, greater or lesser, 1,000 more. As the battle passed over and beyond San Pietro, westward, townspeople began to appear, coming out of their caves in the mountains where they had stayed in hiding during the enemy occupation. They were mostly old people and children. People were warned against enemy mines and booby traps, which were in the process of being cleared. Children are able to forget quickly. Yesterday they wept. Today there are smiles and even laughter. Tomorrow it will be as though the bad things had never happened. Living was resumed in San Pietro. Our Our prime military aim being to engage and defeat the enemy, the capture of the town itself and the liberation of its people is of an incidental nature. But the people in their military innocence look upon us solely as their deliverers. It was to free them and their farmlands that we came. Behind our lines, southwest to the sea, the fields are green with growing crops planted after our coming by other people and other towns who believed likewise. The new won earth at San Pietro was plowed and sown. It should yield a good harvest this year. And the people prayed to their patron saint to intercede with God in behalf of those who came, delivered them, and passed on to the north with the passing battle.
South Pacific, American fighting men smashing their way ashore against Jap resistance. In North Africa, American tank and anti-tank units clashing with Nazi armor. American bombers pounding enemy bases in Germany, Italy, occupied Europe. On battlefields all over the world, American soldiers fighting to determine this nation's destiny. To win final victory, more and more fighting men are needed. To train, equip, and get these men to the front is the task of the Army's Chief of Staff, General George C. Marshall.
Conservation of manpower is a matter of first importance. The Women's Army Auxiliary Corps was organized to assist in meeting this need by releasing soldiers from non-combat duties. These women are to take over the jobs of soldiers behind the lines and here at home. Already they are doing this in a very fine manner. The Corps is a most important element of the Army, and I personally am intensely interested in its rapid development in strength as well as in training.
Mrs. Ovita Culp Hobby taking the oath of office as director of the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps. The Secretary of War appointed her on May 16, 1942, to organize, train, and command a force of women to take the places of men behind the lines. A big order, already partially filled. Thousands of WACs, trained and disciplined the Army way, are now on duty all over this country and overseas, but thousands more are needed. Women from all walks of life, sales girls, industrial workers, librarians, housewives, entertainers, office workers, executives, designers, teachers, college women, women of all races, all creeds, American women. In our pioneer days, women held the powder horn for their fighting men. Today, they are joining the WAC.
Birth certificate?
Yeah.
Dependents?
None.
Do any job assigned?
Just so long as I'll be of use.
Good. Down the hall for your mental alertness test, please.
Gee, these quiz kid things really throw me. I'm a sales girl, not a brain trust.
You'll do okay. These things just show how quick you can think, not how much you know.
No.
Please, no talking.
120 pounds.
Right for your height and age.
Next, please. Catherine Johnson. 162 pounds.
Sorry, 10 pounds overweight.
But it's just a few pounds, Doctor.
Well, we give you the benefit of 15 pounds one way or the other, Mrs. Johnson. You're still overweight. Take off those extra pounds and try again.
I can have another chance?
Yes. Men folks in the Army?
2 sons.
For those who meet the enlistment requirements, the oath of allegiance.
And I do solemnly swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the United States of America. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the United States of America. And that I will serve them honestly and faithfully against all their enemies, whomsoever. And I will serve them honestly and faithfully against all their enemies, whomsoever. That I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me. That I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me. According to the regulations of the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps and the Articles of War.
According to the regulations of the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps and the Articles of War.
More recruits arriving every day for WAC training at Des Moines, Daytona, Oglethorpe, Devens, Polk, and other centers. More women to be trained, more women to become efficient soldiers behind the soldiers at the front. It won't be too easy. These women will have to make many adjustments to new homes, new work, new clothes. But they'll gain much. Friendships they might never have made in civilian life. Fun, fellowship. Most of all, the knowledge that they are doing a vital job and doing it well.
Gee, they're smooth. How do they get that way? Oh, good sergeants and good officers. Did you learn that in college? No, from a book. Officer's Guide. Are you aiming to be an officer someday? I can dream, can't I? Mrs. Johnson, hello. Johnson, and streamlined, too. How did you do? Oh, don't ask, child, don't ask.
Supplies for the new arrivals. Everything uniform, from underwear to overcoats.
Thank you.
Greatest care is taken to fit shoes scientifically. Uniforms are fitted carefully, fitted neatly. Measures to safeguard the health of the new WAC. The first bewildering day is over. The new recruits settle down to Army routine. 6 a.m. doesn't seem too early when there's so much to learn, so much to do. In fact, most of them get a running start on the whistle.
I'm all bummed.
Well, up and through, then down and through.
I think this is it right here.
It's perfect.
How do you like it?
Very GI. GI, what's that?
Government issue. Anything according to regulation. Very Army.
GI? Oh, no insignia. Oh, gee. Who's this Pallas? Pallas Athena, goddess of victory and wisdom. Victory and wisdom?
On the double!
Chow, Army style. Good food and plenty of it.
All you do here is take tests, millions of them.
Well, they have to classify you, dear. Find out what you can do best.
I told him I'm a jalopy expert.
I bet I'm a typist till the day I die.
The things I do best are raise children and cook. Well, I think they'll let you cook.
The civilians of yesterday, now WAC auxiliaries, or privates. Still a bit awkward, but learning fast. Developing on drill areas the coordination and discipline needed in the Army.
Cadence! Count! 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, gosh.
By the right flank, march! Front, halt! 1, 2. At ease.
Jones, don't you know the difference between left and right?
Well, my hands do, but my feet don't.
Well, unfortunately, in this army, we march on our feet. So educate yours.
Yes, ma'am.
And don't call me ma'am, I'm a sergeant. And you've graduated from the Girl Scouts now. The Army hand salute is given with the upper arm parallel to the ground, the forearm at a 45-degree angle. Thumb is parallel to the fingers, which are extended with the tips touching the brim of the headpiece. Very good. Save it for the officers.
Attention!
With practice, they improve, become trim, neat, military. But there's more to learn than snappy footwork. Training the Army way to do jobs the Army way now begins. 5 intensive weeks of basic training, including the first week of processing and orientation, instruction in military procedure, classwork, study and practice, conditioning. But it isn't all work. There's time out to relax and have fun. Time for shopping, cokes, and gab fest in the post exchanges. For mail from home. For get-togethers with friends and dates in the service clubs. And for visitors on Sundays when guests are welcome. Finally, the end of the training period, the beginning of new careers. Friends say goodbye while they polish up for final review.
Look at that, the gruesome twosome. Shine 'em good, chum. Tomorrow's the last day they strut down this field.
It's funny, after all these weeks together.
We'll be together again.
Yeah, but you and Johnson will be officers.
Imagine you two saluting us. Who wants a Coke?
You treating?
Treating nothing. Everybody buys their own. And drinks their own, too.
Well, run along, you three. I'll stay and finish up.
Thanks, Johnson.
Wax on review. Basic training finished for another class. Wax, fit, alert, proud of their corps, prepared for the next big step in their new life, ready to serve with the Army, to do the jobs the Army thinks they do best. Some to officers' training school. Commissions for those who qualify, then on to field command, or further training at the great Army schools for officers. Under Army direction, WAC officers are responsible for the discipline, welfare, and leadership of their corps. Some auxiliaries to specialist schools where many learn entirely new trades. Administrative. Motor transport, where women have proved their ability to maintain and repair cars and trucks. They're good drivers and mechanics. Trained dietitians handle Army rations. Cooks and baker schools, where everyone takes their turn at KP, but observe the modern potato peeler. Radio operation and repair, requiring delicate precision work at which women are so adept. Switchboard operation, another job at which women excel. From training centers and specialist schools to every part of the United States to take over permanent assignments. Wax on the move, into the field, all of them, to take over the duties for which they have been trained. Self-reliant, self-sustaining units, trained to settle quickly in new quarters, to get down to their job without delay. Some go overseas, anywhere the Army may want them, to take over vital jobs behind the lines. North Africa, and the first overseas detachment of WACs. Wherever they are, WACs on the job, releasing soldiers, doing confidential administrative work that can only be handled by Army personnel. Drawing military maps, charts, graphs, plans. Serving as dispatchers for various branches of the Army. Developing secret film in the Army photographic laboratories. Assisting in Army pharmacies. Serving as pigeoneers for carrier pigeons in the great Army communications field. As radio operators who are highly skilled. Issuing clothing in quartermaster warehouses. Working in Army offices at various administrative activities. In the Army Post Office. Fingerprinting. Collecting their rations at the Army Commissary. Replacing soldiers at switchboards. In Army motor pools, in these and many other fields, taking over important jobs for the Army, through these replacements playing a vital role in winning the war. wax in mounting thousands. America's women soldiers, trained, disciplined, fulfilling the purpose for which their corps was created, releasing these men and countless others for combat duty, putting soldiers on the battlefields to win final victory.
Citation for gallantry in action during the landing on Tulagi Island. The Silver Star Medal to Harold C. Miller of Detroit. To Glenn L. Harris of Stacy, North Carolina, United States Coast Guard. These men conducted themselves throughout in keeping with the finest traditions of the United States Coast Guard.
That's us, me and my shipmates, the smallest of the armed forces and the proudest. Tradition from 1790, founded by Alexander Hamilton.
The utility of an establishment of this nature must depend on the exertion, vigilance, and fidelity of those to whom the charge of the boats shall be confined.
Me and my shipmates, we took the job. We manned your Coast Guard cutters through a lot of history. In every war, on every sea. That's why we say, Semper per office. It means in American, always ready.
Citation for extraordinary heroism and conspicuous gallantry in action above and beyond the call of duty in the evacuation of a battalion trapped by enemy forces on Guadalcanal. He gave up his life in defense of his country. To Douglas Albert Monroe, United States Coast Guard, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
One of us lost to the Coast Guard, a signalman first class from South Cle Elum on the Yakima River, state of Washington.
One of us joining the Coast Guard from the state of Washington for her fighting son, for Doug Monroe.
I, Edith Monroe, do solemnly swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the United States of America, and that I will serve them honestly and faithfully against all their enemies whomsoever, and that I will obey the orders of the President
I,
of the
Maureen
United
Cassidy,
States and of the
do
officers
solemnly
appointed
swear that
over
I
me,
will bear true
according
faith
to the
I,
laws of
Genevieve
the
Fraley,
United
do
States
solemnly
and the
swear that I will bear
regulations
true
of the
faith.
I, Mary Turner, do solemnly swear in keeping with the finest traditions of the United States Coast Guard. is my battle station. Here will I serve command. These are my decks of duty. Here will I take my stand. Here is my ship, my helm, my mast, the flag we fly, my starboard watch, my quarterdeck, my sea and sky.
Ensign Robert Spivak, to serve at sea.
Ensign Charlotte Wallace, to serve ashore.
Bosun's Mate Clyde Hunt, to serve at sea.
Bosun's Mate Helen Dawson, to serve ashore.
Harley Biggs, Aviation Machinist Mate.
Whittaker Partner, Aviation Machinist Mate.
Radioman Nicholas Brown.
Radioman Thelma Gorman.
Gunner's Mate Alan Shepard.
Gunner's Mate Jane Lineker.
Seaman Palazzi.
Seaman Turner.
James O'Malley, Pilot First Class.
Maureen Cassidy, Parachute Rigger, First Class.
That's a Coast Guard gun. Needs a crew, 8 men. And here they come.
This Coast Guard station needs a crew, 8 men.
Sorry, we've got business.
Here comes my crew.
8 men?
8 spars. We're Coast Guard too. We'll man the post ashore.
And that takes care of that. All thanks to you. So, pardon us.
Go right ahead.
We've got business with a gun. Teamwork sank this sub. We worked together to help this convoy oversea.
Together?
Yes, sir. You and me.
America is all of us. I'm in this too. Your fight is mine. I win or lose with you. I am in uniform to speed the day our men come home from every front victorious and met by cheers to stay.
Citation. This one's from me. To every Coast Guard spar, for loyalty beyond the call of duty, for coming to your country's colors, for courage in the face of service, and pride in doing a job, for your high sense of honor. your faith in freedom, for standing by the Coast Guard. To you, the gratitude of every fighting man, the love of all America.